Hello all my beautiful people. Here we go again. Welcome to my Bhangra tutorial series. This is the second tutorial featuring my 3 favorite Jhoomer steps. Fun fact, Jhoomer is one of the dance forms that modern day Bhangra originates from. So if you're gonna learn Bhangra, you can't leave on Jhoomer. Just a quick note before we get started. If you're completely new to this dance form, to Bhangra, click on this link right here, top left, top right, I think, yeah. And check out my first Bhangra tutorial. By the end of this video, we will put these new steps into a quick follow along choreography on another one of my favorite songs, K.S Makhan's Ashke. I loved all the song suggestions you guys sent on Instagram. I really did, so thank you for those. I just want to give a big shout out to Shubham for recommending this particular song. It's just ideal for Jhoomer. If you like this tutorial, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for more tutorials and dance videos. Alright, less talking, more dancing. Let's get to it. For step number 1, I want you to stand with your feet shoulder width apart. Slight bend at the knees. Tap your left foot at a 45-degree angle in front of you. So not directly in front, not completely to the side, but somewhere in the middle. Use your toes to tap, not the ankle, not the whole foot. This is important. Switch to the other side. Repeat this motion a couple of times. Nice and easy. Now let's add the Jhoomer style to the simple tapping that we're doing. What I mean by that is, before you tap, lift your left leg up with knee bent. Tap your foot. Press your toes to the ground and then pretend that the ground pushed your foot back. So take your foot to its original position faster. If you've ever seen a horse dancing, that's the leg movement we're looking for, people. Add a slight bounce in the lower body while you're at it. Practice this a few times with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Upper body is very easy, I promise you. And I'll show you 4 variations of it. Variation number 1. Keep your right arm up at all times with a slight bend in the elbow. Touch your index finger with your thumb. Flare the remaining fingers out. Keep your left arm at the waist. So your feet change, but the arm remains the same. And remember to shift your whole body to the same 45-degree angle as your leg. Let's practice this variation real quick with the legs. Here we go. Nice and easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Variation number 2. Switch opposite arms every time you switch your feet. So if you tap with the left foot, right arm goes up. When you tap with the right foot, left arm goes up, and so forth. Let's practice this real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Nicely done. Alright, moving on. Variation number 3. It is just exactly like variation number 2, but this time you're going to keep your hand open and do an inward circular wrist motion that looks something like this. The rest is exactly the same. Let's practice this real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This is going well, I think, so far. I hope you're with me. Moving on, variation number 4. Exactly the same as variation number 3, but this time keep both of your arms up at all times. I feel like this might be even easier than variation 3 because you don't really have to remember to switch your arm every time. Keep them both up at the same time and do the same circular motion with your hands and your wrist. Let's practice this real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, one final styling element that you absolutely have to add to do Jhoomer properly is to add a bounce in your shoulders. How you do this is you raise your shoulders while you're lifting your leg up and then drop them at the same time that your foot taps the floor. Let's practice this real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alright, I think it's time to put all of these variations together in our choreo and see what that's going to look like. What you'll do is you'll give me 4 counts of each of these variations, starting with the first one, then the second, third, and ending with the fourth. Let's practice this without music, because it's a lot. Alright. Remember 4 counts of each variation that we just did. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. I think it's time to try it with some music. Let's do it. All right, moving on to step number 2. Now this is a compound step and it's made of four small steps, or let's call them counts. Good news is you already know the first 2 counts. It's the same stance, it's the same tapping motion that you just did. Starting with the left leg, you're going to tap your left foot, then your right foot. But then for the 3rd count, you'll do a light jump and go down in a wide squat, almost like a sumo squat. It looks something like this. And then you will stay there for the 4th count. Let's practice this, just the legs. Starting with the left foot. 1, 2, 3, and 4. For the upper body, again, you can use any of the 4 variations we did, but for this choreo, let's stick with variation number 2. So if you remember, that was just switching your opposite arms when you switch your feet. And we will do the same shoulder bounce for the first 2 taps that we did earlier in step 1. Now, before you squat down, you will raise both arms and then bring them down slowly till your waist, not lower, and do a quick flicking motion with your index finger and thumb on both hands, like this. Right? Let's practice this. Starting with the right arm up. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, another important styling element here, when you flick on the 4th count, I also want you to do a slight jerking motion with your shoulders. It doesn't matter which direction or which shoulder you do it with, but remember to do this. This is what it looks like. Let's try a 4 count again, adding this element. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, now let's put all of these counts that we just did in a quick 12 count. I'm sorry if I'm confusing you, but this is what I mean. So you'll basically do this step number 2, which is made up of 4 counts. You'll do it 3 times. Do it with me without music. Let's try this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more time. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Awesome. We are already done with step number 2. But, real quick, let's practice with music to really understand what we're doing. Let's do it. All right, we are almost done with our choreo. We're so close. Don't abandon me right now, all right? Stay with me. We just have one more step to go, and then we'll be done. Final step, step number 3 of Jhoomer. This is also a compound step with 4 little steps, or let's call them counts, 4 counts in it. Good news, another good news. First 2 counts, you already know they're the same tapping steps you've practiced so many times now. For the 3rd count, you will step back with your right foot, tilting your whole body like this, and going in a squat again, and also tapping your left foot that's at the front. For the 4th count, you will simply bring your right foot back to its starting position while squatting again. Let's practice that slowly. Do it with me. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. For the hands, let's keep the same variation, the variation we've been doing, variation number 2, for the first 2 counts. But then for the 3rd, bring both your hands on your hips, like this. For the 4th count, bring your left hand in front of you, palm facing upward, and bring your right arm from behind and put your right hand with palm facing sideways on top of your left hand. That's quite a mouthful. Let's practice this, starting with the right arm up. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Another important styling element here, one more time. When you bring your hands on your hips on the 3rd count, bounce your shoulders, remember to do that. Do it again when your hands touch on the 4th count. So 2 important shoulder bounce movements in this. Well, all 4 counts have shoulder bounce movements, but remember where you hit the beat. That's really important. That makes a huge difference when you're doing Jhoomer. Now let's put feet and hands together and do another 12 count. Again, what I mean by that is step 3, which is consisting of 4 counts, we will do it 3 times. All right? Stay with me here. Do it with me. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more time. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Awesome. Nicely done. All right. Time to practice step number 3 with some music, and then we can finally put all of this together in our awesome 30 to 60 second choreo. Let's do it. All right, now it's time to do our whole choreo with these 3 steps and 4 upper body variations that we just learned. Here's what we're going to do. In the first part of the choreo, you'll give me 4 counts of each variation of step 1. So basically starting with step 1, variation 1, do it 4 counts, 1, 2, 3, 4. Move on to step 1, variation 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Step 1, variation 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And step 1, variation 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your first bit of the choreo with step 1 and all of its variations. Second part of the choreo is going to be just the step 2 that we learned. We'll just do it 3 times. So refresher, if you can't remember what step 2 looked like, this is what it looked like. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you'll do this one step, you'll do it 3 times with music. Then there's a filler piece where we'll just use step 1, variation 1. Just do it for 8 counts because it doesn't really make sense to start step 3 in that bit of music. Just trust me on this one. So just follow along with me for step 1, variation 1 in the filler music, or you could just take a break if you want. That's fine. In the 4th bit of the choreo, we will just do step 3 times again. This is what step 3 looked like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I know it might sound too complicated and too long and too confusing right now. That's okay. Just follow along with me with the screen prompts that you see and keep your rhythm going with the music. Remember to start with your left leg and your right arm up every time you start a new step, step 1, step 2, or step 3. If you don't get it with music the first time, it's like, wait, what? You're changing too many times. What's happening? Don't worry about it. Just circle through it a couple times. Do it a second time, a third time. I promise you, after about 3 or 4 times, you're gonna be a Jhoomer pro, and you're not gonna need me anymore, which is gonna be sad. But I want you to be happy, and I want you to bust these moves at the next party, or the next wedding, or the next whatever you go to. All right? So let's do this. And that's it. It's a wrap. We're done. You're almost a Jhoomer pro now. Look at you. Well, thank you for watching. Hope you had fun. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please, please, please let me know in the comment section below. I truly, truly appreciate all of your comments. Until next time, happy dancing, everyone!